super dominant lane. Just try to win lane, win
we
games,
talked about
snowball.
that as well, yeah. Just like, all in early game. Like, just try. But problem is, I'm not sure G2 will allow you to get those picks in the early game. Last time, it was G2 on blue side as well. Zyra, Malzahar, and then Camille was banned because they didn't want to have Origen leave it open and force them to first pick it. They're doing the same. They're going to first pick Varus, unless Origen bans it away instead of the Jayce right now. But then you can also still go Jhin. Yeah,
always a possibility. So Origen, 20 seconds still left to ban this one away. As you mentioned, G2 on the blue side. They picked it this time.
And I want to see MFA to carry from Tabzz now.
There you go.
I want to see something where you have like this crazy strong lethality ulti that if G2 is playing a sloppy game, then you can win team fights with it. Strong laning phase as well with the double up. So now, ooh, you gotta decide as G2, do I want Jayce or do I want Varus? Which one? If they pick the Jayce, Varus will be locked in by Tabzz, and we sadly won't get our MFA to carry.
No. Make it a support though, you never know.
Yeah, but
or maybe Zven picks it up.
It's not the same. Ooh, maybe.
Maybe.
Zven is a very boring player who's like, what is best in the meta? I will pick it. So now, for most teams, Jhin would be best because Varus has already been locked in, so he will just pick Jhin. And then he will be like, yeah, I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to win games, get some kills. Could add another line to that one, but let's just move on.
I've never heard someone flame someone for being good.
No, it's not a flame. I'm just saying, like, he is the kind of guy who's like, what is best now? I will play that. So many other AD carries are like, no, what about Draven? Or maybe I should try Twitch. He's like, what is best? This is best, pick. There you go.
And there's the Jhin. Okay, so far so standard on that side. G2 still have another pick for themselves available, but they have a lot of power between the Jayce and the Jhin. I mean, that is going to hurt with the armor penetration, or the lethality, I should say, coming through a little bit later in the game.
Yeah,
what G2 like to do?
Ryze is open again, which obviously is a good pick for them, but then you would show Jayce top already, and that kind of removes the flex option. That is why they're going for a support instead. Now, this would be a bit of a curveball here in Europe.
Why not?
We have seen it before.
What do you got to lose, Origen? Come on.
I mean, fair. Why not? You know, you have to try something.
You already built a Hextech GLP.
And this is a pick that can roam and try and snowball your lanes. Not
Speaking
as
of
effective
roaming,
that's another one. I don't think you need to pick it right now. You can save it for the next pick phase, which is why I think they're just kind of trolling around. Oh, yeah, they are.
Okay, so they're going to lock the Corki at the end of the day. Man, that was so much build-up.
Thought for a second when he went back to the Aurelion Soul, but no. Origen now have shown the mid laner, jungle AD carry, jungle support on G2 side, so G2 can pinch support or top laners, and Origen can pinch mid laners or junglers, depending on which role they decide to focus on.
There's the
Ryze ban, not a big surprise.
I just don't want to face it down. I mean, it gives G2 a lot of late game power, but it's also something PerkZ has been showing to be more comfortable on, despite being just a strong pick. And there's the start of the support bans, as you mentioned.
Yeah, get rid of the Karma. Is there anything else they want to get rid of to make sure Jayce has a good lane? Most likely not, unless they fear a potential Shen coming in. But it was a pick that Origen obviously couldn't really utilize at all, also due to the very good lane swap by G2 in the last game.
Expect to see more of that again as well, Origen. Maybe if they can try to preempt it a little bit, try something tricky. We'll see as the game gets underway, but still in the ban phase. No, it's the Graves.
Okay.
Okay, so target the jungle pool, the trick a little bit more. You've already taken the Kha'Zix for yourself.
Yeah, like our last game, it was Origen going very early Graves, and then they gave a last pick Kha'Zix over to Trick. Now they realized, okay, Kha'Zix is still strong, and he's very strong against us, because we do get caught out a lot, so let's just take him ourselves. Might not be the same when you play against G2 eSports, and that could be a big issue. There's still a lot of junglers available.
It's only the second Kha'Zix that Origen have actually picked up for themselves throughout the 8 games, 9 games now that they played.
They play a lot of different things. Actually, they have tried a lot of different picks, both carries top lane, tanks top lanes, multiple different junglers. Yeah. Olaf was in there for a moment.
They are experimenting. I mean, you have to give them credit for that, but it's not the issue with compositions for them. It just seems to be always execution. That Braum is the last ban, so they pinched out for Hiiva.
It's definitely a mix. It's a mix. So it could be top lane Nautilus coming in. Tanks are a thing against Jayce that a lot of top laners do like to pick.
There's
but
Bard, though.
We get the potential playmaking support. I am okay risking Hiiva getting caught and dying if he can land that sick ulti into a stun. So there is tools here for Origen to definitely start fights and create picks. A lot of squishy members though, and it's gonna be fine for G2 if they honestly just track the Bard and just make sure they know where he's going in the early game.
Probably pushing up in lane. We know Hiiva. It's going to be the blind lock-in of the Rumble for Expect, and then G2 have one more pick to go. It's going to be the mid for PerkZ. What are they going to take here?
I think the Rumble is actually...
excuse me, jungle.
Yeah, so Rumble could be jungle, it could be top, depending on the last pick coming in. It's going to be Rumble top, Elise jungle. G2 realizing that Origen will aim for strong early game and just say, let's match it with our jungler. We can now set up ganks ourselves, and I don't think G2 is too worried about potentially getting outscaled, which is one of the problems when you pick Elise so often. We know it's going to be Jayce mid against the Corki, and now it is, interestingly enough, a tank locked in against Rumble top. Not sure I agree with that one, but maybe Satorius didn't feel like he had any sort of carries he wanted to play against Rumble. Because this is just going to give a farm lane, and then expect team fighting presence is going to be fantastic on this Rumble against things like Varus.
It does seem a bit more mix and match on the Origen side, but for G2, I mean, that is a ridiculously strong mid-game power spike. With the way you build the lethality now, I mean, that's G2 could just run over Origen if they just march it up mid.
I mean, I like Origen's mid-game as well. I think mid-game on both teams is actually very strong. Should be a super action-packed game.
Yeah, it should be.
Laning phase-wise, with the Bard down the bottom lane, if Hiiva is playing a good game, he can try and set up some picks here against Zven and Mithy. And also, you have early game jungler from Trick. We know how active he is on the map.
Oh, yeah.
But mid-game is where it should really explode. Like, both teams have very strong mid-game spikes.
And they banked pretty heavily on Wisdom getting his hands on the Kha'Zix, so we'll see if he's able to make something happen with that one. Last time, we just didn't see enough of him. As the coach shakes hand to walk off the stage once again, G2 looking to close this one out with a clean 2-0. They did it in 25 minutes last time and got 20 kills without giving up a single one.
They lost the tower, so it wasn't a perfect game.
Yeah, it was a swap. It's okay.
Shame on you, G2. Shame on you.
Is that what Febby meant when he said they were slacking?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on. Where's your second perfect game of the season? We didn't get it. This game as well will be very hard because Origen pack a lot of damage as well.
That's true, they do. Well, we'll see how the matchup goes up top, expecting that to be the farm lane, but we'll see how it all goes in the rest of those, and then once the game breaks out in the middle, expecting a lot of action. Every time there's a rumble in the game, I get really excited because those are so pivotal. Like we saw last series, you can land that big equalizer, expect no stranger to the champion. Yeah. Origen, looking to challenge though.
I think Origen is one of my, Rumble is one of my favorite champions to look at in professional play for that exact reason. I just feel like every team fight with Rumble, it should be impactful. And then you can also laugh at the Rumble play if he completely misses the ulti. So like it's a win-win. He nails the ulti, awesome fight. He misses it, you suck, you know? It's always a win.
This is a very, very pivotal champion in that way. And Trick on this Elise right now. See if he focuses on getting those ganks off early. It's a champion that had fallen down in prominence a little bit, but the jungle pool pinched so heavily, feels confident to take it.
Funny story, Trick using SKT Elise here. When he actually played in Korea, he was subbed in against SKT in the BO3, and they managed to win it, which was one of the big upsets in that season. Sadly, then Trick was back on the bench, and Ambition came back into jungle. And no one actually knew why at that point.
Well, I think he definitely proved himself here in Europe. He got the Rookie of the Split, MVP, a couple of times after the fact.
Yeah, it's funny because about Trick, you know, when you hear people who followed LCK a lot, like closely, not just the LCK itself, but also things behind the scene. I didn't always hear talks about how Trick was a huge talent or anything. Like, people respected him a lot there and said like he had definitely potential. But then when I talked to Ocelot and G2 and they talked about finding Trick back then, they were like, yeah, this was a guy who had a lot of offers. Like, there were Korean teams who wanted to pick him up as well, but then G2 came in, they offered him obviously a nice deal here in Europe and so on, and then he picked that over some of the other teams he had right there. So clearly there were a lot of people believing in his talent. And as soon as Trick showed up here, he was just one of the best junglers, like almost instantly. Yeah, and
so that does not happen all that often, and it's so risky often with the Korean imports, but it's definitely been one that's paid off, and it's a large part of G2's success.
And I think from their story, it really sounds like the scouting was spot on right there. Like, they knew this guy was really good. They followed him, they heard good things about him, and so on. So, really good investment. Has turned out to be one of the absolute best in Europe, honestly. Getting him over because he's, as you said, been MVP twice, and this season, he's playing well again.
So far, so good. G2 can't complain too much about their overall performance, and Trick in particular. Wisdom is going to have a hard time matching that, but he is on the Kha'Zix. He does have carry potential. Wisdom as a player, though, we just haven't seen as much of that out of him for a long time.
Let's see what Trick can do. Elise wants to gank early, bait out Valk.
Does get a connection on the Cocoon. Spiraling pokes down, as well as the Shock Blast from Perk, so they deal a little bit of damage to him, but NaeHyun playing a very safe game on that Corki. Wisdom getting vision down bottom with the Scuttle Crab complete. Might be an earlier game in the Dragon Pit. because there is an Infernal that is spawned first.
Good, more action. Just more action. All we want in this game, Pyro, is just fights.
Well, we might see some. Ooh, Trick is a little low. Wisdom is on the hunt here. And he's going to flash for first blood. Stopped under tower, but he gets it.
All right, classic caster problem when you talk about a player and you kind of tell his story and you hype him up a little bit, then he plays it greedy.
The curse is real, Deficio.
Curse is real. Oh, Mithy might get caught.
Uh-oh, Wisdom and Hiiva incoming. They're going to turn for Zven instead. Now they go back. Mithy's exhausted. Wisdom is as well. He's stunned up. They're flashing past the team. Wisdom is so low right now, and he's going to get taken down by PerkZ as he tries to walk towards the rest of G2. Hiiva flashing into the Dragon Pit. It has gone really messy. Another exhaust spent on his Zven. This time it's courtesy of NaeHyun. Summoner's blown all over the place, but at the end of the day, G2 get a kill for nothing.
I promised you action, Pyra. We are 4 minutes into the game, and we have so many flashes down now. Kill for each team as well. Mithy on a bit of a detour, took the blast cone over, and then he actually got kind of cut off. But because we had a roam for PerkZ, we had Zven already there, they could take the fight. Hiiva has no flash now. Does have his portal though, so he's going to be fine.
Mithy has no fear right now. Just keeps walking into Hiiva, who has to take the portal out.
What happened there as well is exactly what happened to HCK in the last series. When they won the first game so easily, second game, started chilling a little bit. Like, Trick literally sees the guy right in front of him. And he's like, no, I need another Raptor here. I'm not going to give him all 4 Raptors. Instead of just walking away and being like, all right, I'm not going to deal with this, and he actually dies for it. Mithy with the crazy blast cone. It's all a bait here, Pyro. It's all a bait.
It is definitely a bait. The long con. I mean, Zven, he looked in trouble for a minute, but there just wasn't enough damage, and you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, but this actually also comes down to that mid lane gank Trick had before, where NaeHyun got poked down a little bit. PerkZ got to push out the lane after that, so that's why PerkZ could roam first and walk straight down, and NaeHyun joins very late.
There were so many summoners popped, like in the span of like 3 seconds. All right, so everything's going to like quiet down for just a minute because no one can flash out of anything anymore.
Well, you say that, and he doesn't invade.
Mithy and Trick are on the move. Some
Dum,
vision
dum,
down.
dum, dum. I love the way Tahm Kench walks around.
Is that your soundtrack for it?
That's my soundtrack for him. No copyrights. You guys can all use it.
Someone out there is going to make that a ringtone, I guarantee you. Hiiva's going to be walking into a cocoon.
Ah, look. See, Trick has changed. From, damn, I need these Raptors, I'm going to die for it, to, I'm not going to go for this play. Great change. This is the well-done effect, obviously. Not tilting in-game right there.
That's what you're crediting
Switching the adaptation, adapting on the fly.
I guess there's something to be said for it, but it gives Wisdom a chance to get a bit of counter jungle on right now, and he has had, that first blood.
Yeah.
A little bit of an earlier impact, so we'll see what he can do this game.
And we do actually have to praise the coaches on G2 eSports. Like, well done, Sharks, and of course, Youngbuck. They're getting a lot of praise from the players. The team is looking strong right now. Still stuff to work on, of course.
And they're looking controlled.
They look very controlled, yeah.
That's the important thing.
Exactly. Some people call it slacking, Peppergun. Other people say it's controlled and trying to adapt your style a little bit. Jungle matchup came up right there super quick. Sorry for slightly ignoring it. But it was basically telling us that Trick absolutely dumpstered all of Origen in last game.
Way to sum that one up in just a few seconds. Wisdom, we'll see if he has something to say about that this time around. Hiiva and Tabzz already stopped up under tower. Pretty big farm differential. Zven and Mithy started to turn it. Of course, Tabzz has always been playing fairly back, even on winning lane matchups throughout this split so far. We have seen him be very, very passive. Against Zven and Mithy, it's hard not to be.
Yeah, NaeHyun has actually been the most aggressive laner on Origen, which does reflect a bit in his CS numbers at 10 minutes. They're not actually that bad. He gets a lot of CS as well because he's trying constantly to shove his waves and then get a bit of pressure. But sadly for him, there rarely is a lane he can actually go to and then impact, or he doesn't get a whole lot of help himself. And then he ends up getting ganked and he dies and then he starts falling behind.
You could really see what Origen are trying to do. The Talia pick last time around. I mean, he did try to be on a lot of playmakers. We saw famously the Echo as well early on, and I believe it was week number 1. And it just hasn't panned out because of what you said. He just isn't getting a whole lot of help. He doesn't find a way to move into side lanes. But Origen aren't getting crushed in lane every game. It really is after that laning phase that things start to drop off.
Definitely is, and obviously with G2, they don't really care. They don't need to win laning phase, and that's the thing we talked about before with the new coaching staff and the change to them as a team. Krepo talked about it a few days ago when he was casting G2 as well. This change in mindset where it's win lane, win game might only work for you in your home region. where some of your players are some of the best in their positions, and you can just play this style, and you can use it to win as many games as possible. But it doesn't matter at all if you then can't do it against some of the best teams in the world when you play MSI, when you play Worlds, these kind of things. Because then you're not going to win lane, win game. You're not going to take on like some of these top teams and just destroy them early game. So you have to force yourself to really practice this more like methodical style, this more like macro style, where you need to win games by not just winning lane only.
I think it's a huge credit to G2 infrastructure and player-wise that they've been able to do that.
Well, let's see if it works first. Let's see if it works first. They haven't obviously qualified yet to international tournament to show if it paid off.
But it is setting them up for some big plays right now as Satorius is going to have to go anchors away back to base. A big dive set up by G2, and they are looking to push on top tower. That macro game seems to be working well for them so far.
Yeah, good roam from PerkZ again on the Jayce. We'll lose a bit of minutes in the mid lane. We doesn't really care because bottom lane is where his bottom lane is already recalled or backed away. Zven and Mithy, the classic move. You make a play on top side, well, they're going to make a play on the bottom side. So Zven and Mithy had already stepped away. We're not going to risk anything.
But for Origen, they're going to be able to secure themselves this Infernal Drake to start things off. It'll definitely help them the longer the game goes on. They might be down in gold by quite a bit. But under 10 minutes, they do have an Infernal.
And this is then where G2 has to be able to return to top lane and collect the reward. The one kill for Infernal Drake is not a worthy trade, but if you then go back top when the guy has no flash, no teleport, then you can then take the top lane tower and get a first tower gold, and that's then your reward a bit later. Good roam from PerkZ again, after killing whatever he needed to kill in the mid lane. And now we gotta see if they can return here, take that top lane tower and Satorius down. Otherwise, technically, a fine trade for Origen.
Yeah. They're down 1,000 gold, but they can be pretty happy with the fact that they have a very critical dragon secured for themselves. So we'll see what they're able to get done with that a little bit later on in the game. There is another Infernal that'll come up, but that'll be some minutes away for sure. Origen holding strong in lanes.
And another way Origen can use that dive here to kind of snowball further is teleport. If they don't want to go top lane and kill Satorius himself, expect just walk back to lane when Satorius had to TP back to catch the wave. That means now you can actually make a play on the bottom side as well that Origen has to respect. So you see Origen are recalling and they're going top with the dual lane. They don't want to risk a bot lane dive where expect TPs in. So yes, Infernal Drake for Origen is a quick win, but G2 have control of the map because of that dive they executed top lane.
Yeah, they definitely have controlled the tempo in this series.
And they're going to get bot lane tower probably much faster than Origen.
No problem. Wisdom's there as well.
In the end, G2 wins out.
That's exactly the way they want to play this one out. Keep it firm, keep it controlled, don't give a chance for your opponent to respond. It doesn't matter who they are. They don't mess around. And although Expect was able to melt that minion wave, so G2 easily winning that trade.
And this is all planned. Like, none of this is just random reaction. If Origen stays bot lane with Bard and Varus, they get dove and they die and they lose first tower. If Origen swaps to top lane, Expect saves his ultis the wave, and walks away. He doesn't stay on the tower, he walks away because he knows it's going to be 4 members from Origen, and G2 takes first tower in the bot lane. Like, it's all planned out from them right here. And Origen, they just have to settle for, you know, second turret, and they have to react later. They might not even get the turret.
They are going to try to go on to Expect right now. He's got no ultimate. He gets swallowed up by Mithy, though, who stopped up for just a second, and they blow a lot as Mithy was trying to get there. NaeHyun around the backside, instant exhaust, fast bomb. Around the back is going to be PerkZ, though. They're going to pay for this one. Origen, they decided to go all in under tower, and they might be regretting it. Mithy's chunked down. It's a double kill for NaeHyun, and they're all taking the journey. But Trick is right behind them, hot on their heels, and Zven opens up the curtains. It's not even going to be needed as it's only Satorius there. A double kill for Trick. Once again, the anchor, but he stuns him under tower, locked by the cocoon, but he's taking tower, and Satorius gets the kill, and he dies.
Keep walking.
He stops on it.
No, he thought he had it.
You wanted action to Fish Show, we got it.
Oh, Satorius. Walk away, man, walk away. He was just like, I did it. I killed him, I'm gonna recall here.
He didn't even BM spam.
No, maybe he was
still.
Maybe he was about to, and then he saw the snare.
Ah, you gotta have quicker reaction time than that.
Slow reaction on the on the emotes.
All right. Let's take a look at where we are. So Origen, for a second, they looked like they were going to grab Expect. Mithy said nope, and then all that happened. It's 12 minutes in. It's a 5K gold lead, 4.5 rather, and G2 are still in control.
Yeah. So this is the play where Expect knows he can stay around because of Mithy. Notice how Mithy waits until the knock-up from Nautilus hits before he eats Expect. Wants that CC first, and then he takes and devours him. PerkZ over the wall, smack right in the back of Origen, and now it is one of these fights where you can't really go anywhere as Origen because there's a tower in front of you, so Hiiva's portal is everything really to get out, and Wisdom is trying to catch Mithy.
Oh, great health. And it comes trick. Unlucky.
Not bad, not bad.
I mean, he's still pushing his weight around the map. I mean, for a 1 and 2 Kha'Zix, that's not too bad right now.
Origen
just take a couple of tower shots.
Yeah, Origen is going to try and play fast. They're going to try and force G2 down on their level and just take some of these sloppy fights that can go either way. PerkZ is pretty damn fed, though, on this Jayce with lethality.
Yeah. He's had a great game as he dodges away from the anchor of Satorius. Origen trying to make their stand in mid and continue to push. There will be another Infernal in a minute and a half, but there's some time on the board before that. So, instead, they're just going to set up the vision for now. Pushing lane in the bottom side, Expect is easily going to be able to deal with that one. G2 are denying any tower attempts from Origen for now.
For now. Get ready, Pyre. Just relax for a moment, rest your voice, and start yelling very, very soon, because we're going to keep having big fights. We're in the mid game. We talked about it. Ghost Blades, Trinity Forces, whatever it is you want. Anything that can set up a fight, it's here.
Well, there was an equalizer, and NaeHyun was able to dodge it, but around the backside comes Trick and Mithy, and we don't even need to see it. That one was too R-rated for us.
Yeah.
As Hiiva went down as well.
I'm not really, I think Hiiva maybe didn't expect anyone to be in the river. Just kind of walked that way around, wanted to portal over the wall, possibly.
Yeah,
that's a no-no. Don't do that.
When G2 are starting to 2-3 shot people, it's a little rough. And now they're on mid tower.
Tabzz, get away! Get away!
Dodges Cocoon. Okay, the curtain call's opened up, and they don't even need it. PerkZ claims number 6.
You know they're coming. They just killed your bot lane. They left into the jungle. Just leave the tower, man. Just leave it.
Yikes.
It's okay. It's gonna die anyway. You're just gonna die with it.
Well, give some credit to Origen. They are playing better this game. They've got 4 more kills than they did that time.
Yeah, that is very true.
All right, Hiiva's back at it.
Oh, Hiiva.
What's he gonna do?
All right, plays it safe. Plays it safe. Wisdom
is hunting for Zven. He's isolated. He's got the bonus damage for a second, and he gets snommed by Mithy. And NaeHyun just can't get the damage off in time. Oh, Shock Blast hurt.
Some close ones here. Heal coming in from Zven. Just when Wisdom thought he had the kill.
So clutch, though, Mithy's Tahm Kench has been. He's exactly where he needs to all the time. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Exactly. It is easy in this kind of game. Just be with your team, run as 5, and just keep fighting.
Okay, here we go. Hiiva's around the side.
No, Hiiva does
Oh, he's going to take the journey. He did let his team secure the dragon by making himself bait.
As soon as he missed the Q, just stay in the brush. All right, double Infernal, baby.
Yeah.
If Origen can extend this game, you know, like another 20 minutes.
It's going to be hard.
They're going to pay off. Sadly, it's a very long-term investment, and you're kind of losing money right now.
Yes, they are. Giving it over to G2. Big rocket. Lands onto Trick, but Mithy once again noms him up.
Their Mithy is sending a message. I'm going to let them hit you first, and then I will eat you. Classic.
The Mithy special. All right, 7-0-1. PerkZ is having a field day on this Jayce. And with the Edge of Night now completed, he is shredding through the armor of Origen.
Well, yeah, let's actually look at that. Because obviously lethality, the change that happened to it, we talk about it all the time, but we don't actually mention the change in itself. Where now 60% of it is instantly when you get it, like early game. So 60% armor penetration, basically.
Versus the 40 it used to be.
Yeah, so if you have 10 lethality right now, as soon as you have it at level 1, you get 6 armor pins. You remove 6 armor from the enemy team. And then the rest kind of comes over time. At level 18, you then get the full amount. You have then 10 armor penetration. Now, lethality obviously are higher numbers we're dealing with. We're up in the, right now, 20, 30s when you have 2 or 3 items of them. And we're already at the point in the game where, like, level 10 on the side of Origen, well, you're past the halfway point. So right now, you're going to get, like, 85% of that armor pen. And let's look at the armor on like a Tabzz. He's sitting on 55 armor, obviously scaling armor on these different champions. And PerkZ is sitting right now on 35 lethality, if he has no runes or anything. That means he's almost dealing, down towards the true damage area. Not quite yet, not quite.
I think you can see that from the Shock Blast,
If he gets a Duskblade, we're getting closer then. If he has some runes as well, then we're getting even closer.
He has been very, very big this game. We're getting closer and closer to that 20-minute mark.
Actually, he does have runes. He's sitting on 58 armor pen. So right now, PerkZ has 58 armor penetration through his lethality. And as we said before, Tabzz has 55 armor.
So yeah, that doesn't mean too much for Tabzz.
That's gonna hurt a lot.
Yeah, still trying to stack his tier right now. Poor guy as NaeHyun gets caught up by the cocoon, gets licked by Mithy, and the spider explodes on him. I hate when that happens. Oh, hate when that happens.
That's a lot of damage when you don't actually have any armor. Now, armor pen cannot put you under 0 armor. So it will just get you to 0 and stop there. It won't actually go further down and then further increase.
I think it's enough, to be honest.
I think it's enough as well, just remove all of his damage reduction.
But another hope for Origen is that not only do they have those 2 dragons, another Infernal is spawning. The question is, can they actually contest it? Because it was close last time around.
You feel like you're ready. You're full HP. You're walking in.
Oh, speaking of walking in.
Damn, Mithy.
Okay, but he just eats up Wisdom, and Trick was right there for the Tempered Fate. Body block. Okay, they're throwing everything at it right now, but he's so low, he steps right outside of it.
He's alive.
Woo, and he makes it out.
Yeah, so you walk out of base with full HP, you feel ready to fight. 1 shock blast on one of your carries, and they're down to like 40% HP.
Yeah, he's got to hightail it back to base to heal up right now. That's going to give G2 an opportunity to open fire on this turret. Hiiva nearly botted on that one. I mean, Trick, all he's got to do is step up with his hand cannon, and now they're just going to move towards the mid. It's only NaeHyun here.
Well, also no minions.
That is a problem.
Ah, they don't get it.
Okay.
I want another shock blast.
Like that. Oh, the electric, and Mithy denies. They just can't finish off any of these G2 members, and a lot of that credit to Mithy. Spec, meanwhile, still clearing away on the bottom side.
Oh, yeah, it gets even more annoying when you feel like you're finally able to get a kill, and then Tahm Kench is there. It's like, oh, come on. Only way back in the game from Origen is crazy, crazy fights.
Well, they've been trying their hearts out right now, but they need to live through those shock blasts. Hiiva takes another one, clips him in the side, and instantly halves his health bar. Tabzz has got to be careful as he pushes out. Still trying to control the map best they can. 20-30 in this game, and it's getting very tense. PerkZ holding mid right now. Next dragon, an option in a minute for both teams. Origen would love to have this. All 3 Infernals in a game would give them a huge edge as it goes on.
Yeah.
But as much as you can, I mean,
man,
all that can be evaporated by PerkZ.
If Infernal Drakes were just like flat 80 and AP gave you right now, damn, it would have some value for Origen. But the fact it is still percentage, so you need more time before it really kicks in and becomes insanely impactful. That is sadly for Origen the problem at the moment, because they've been trading those Infernals for kills and towers.
But they are not losing by nearly as much as they were. It
You're
was a
so
25-minute game last time. You know me, Deficio, you know me. They have a better chance because they've been able to pick those up, because they've been able to take a few fights and get a few kills. But you're right, it is so monumental to try and claw this one back. I feel, though, if they can shut down PerkZ, that eliminates a lot of the damage on this G2 side. Expect still got it, but if they can find a pick, they might just be able to do it.
Yeah, well, G2 might pull an H2K here and start having some of these fights where they overextend, and then suddenly the game becomes very, very close. Can definitely happen.
Yeah, we haven't seen it much from them this split, though. I mean, that's a huge thing for them.
It might be around this Infernal Drake.
We'll see. Teleport already coming in for the Rumble. Expect is coming in. Wisdom waiting in that brush, sends the Void Spikes, dodges the Cocoon. Dragon's not started yet. Everybody is coming to the party.
Oh, that was one spider.
Okay, they find Mithy, and it's NaeHyun who gets caught. The curtain call opens up, and they just blow through everybody and make it look easy. NaeHyun and Hiiva are down, and G2 say thank you very much.
Satorius didn't even get to teleport. He was like, I'm ready, guys. How do we engage here? Is it bot ulti? Is it Varus ulti? How do we start the fight? And bam! 2 guys are dead.
All right. Remember what I was saying about how there's a chance?
I mean, yeah, I do.
It's smaller now.
You're 100% correct, Fire. It is definitely smaller. Then again, for Origen to actually take down G2 is, of course, very, very hard doing this. And I mean, that's the thing, if you're Origen right now, you need to find wins somewhere. You can't just lose every game and then go into promotion tournament. It is obviously not against Unicorns, against G2, against HK. Those are not the teams you're looking at. You're looking at Giants, you're looking at Rocket, you're looking at Vitality even the next time you play them. The teams just around you in the standings who have also shown a lot of weaknesses, a lot of inconsistencies. And you're hoping they have a really bad day and you have a good day, and then boom, suddenly you pick up a 2-1 or 2-0. And that can be huge, because you are right now just fighting against the teams in your group to avoid promotion tournament. The one Spider already dealt too much damage for it to be fair.
And then Zven's just able to snipe down Hiiva after the fact. And the cooldowns are low enough for G2 to get away with this over and over again. So unfortunately for Origen, they didn't really have much of a chance. But as you said, this is the team. This is not the team they need to beat for sure. Let's see what they can take away. It's 23-30 on the game clock. 10K gold differential. Been a lot of Infernal Dragons, and we have had a lot of action, that's for sure. And you've got to give some kudos to Origen for continuing to fight it out. They're playing with a lot more heart this game than we saw the last time around. But it is just so tough for this team.
68 armor penetration now from PerkZ, the lethality doing wonders for him. Tabzz is currently sitting on 62 armor, so we're still back to him basically not being able to get any sort of damage reduction from it.
No, and he's still working towards the second item as well. I mean, he's been set so far behind. It's something we haven't tracked as much throughout this game, but he's 2,000 gold behind Zven this time around. I mean, that just kind of tells you how they've not been able to get that many resources. No towers in this game to the 4 that G2 have gotten.
But Infernal Drakes.
Yeah, but they don't always translate to gold, right? That's a long-term investment, not an immediate payoff.
Exactly.
Economics 101, Deficio.
That's true. I think I said that earlier and you stole it from me.
I totally learned the lesson and then tried to teach it back to you.
It worked.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well,
Origen will have nightmares of this Jayce right here. Zven, let's see if we can hit it.
Okay, Hiiva is going to be able to not stop that curtain call, and now the tower is going to be G2's once again. That is number 5 for them, and they're looking to open up the base. Tabzz and Hiiva incredibly low. Sven stepping forward. He has no fear this game. So Origen are finding it harder and harder to fight back.
And as it looks like G2 can close this out, get the 2-0 victory. They will stay undefeated after week 4. Unicorns or Love are still undefeated as well after week 4. And they play each other on Thursday. And that game is going to be insane. Both teams undefeated, different styles. You have the more calm and collective one on G2, and you have the crazy team fighting on the side of Unicorns.
I think it's going to be a battle for who can control the tempo of that game for sure. Big test for G2 coming up, but they're looking on track to close this one out.
I love that because I've been watching a lot of playoffs of the NFL, and that's a classic comment from their commentators as well.
I've been watching it as well. Where do you think I got it from?
Yeah, exactly. Good old Joe Buck always talks about
you had to bring
tempo,
that one out.
the tempo. You got to control the pace of the game. You got to throw a bit more.
All right, but let's not talk about the NFL. We're here in Europe right now as Wisdom is getting fired down. Hiiva trying to make a play on the backside, meep slap in the back of Sven's head, but it is not enough damage. Tabzz trying to 2-step, NaeHyun tagging in. They lose one. It is Wisdom, so the damage is a little reduced right now. Origen still trying to hang tough, and Tabzz is just having such a hard time right now. He's only 0-2, and like it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I think everyone on Origen is having a hard time. G2 right now.
I love this mirror build between PerkZ and Zven.
Yeah, just the boots. What a problem. That's poor coaching. That's a big mistake.
They almost got their matching today. Well, there's still plenty of time to review and fix some things. Minor corrections.
The big notes Youngbuck is writing down here.
I mean, we joke about it, but in all honesty, there's so little to criticize G2 for, not just in this series, but in this entire split so far.
Well, in this series, but go back to the H2K game. They lost the game as well there. They did struggle a bit. So let's not paint a picture where it's like perfect for G2 so far. It's not perfect for any team in Europe, not any team in North America either. There are very few teams, like even SKT is just lost. Yeah, KT probably can be very happy with their recent performance, but like I feel like there are still so many things that every team wants to work on. Some teams just have less to work on than others, but we're still early on in the spring split. It would be weird if someone were actually perfect already.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to consider. It's only the end of week 4 right now. We've only just begun cross-group play, and that's where things get really interesting, but there's so much more to play out. Wisdom and NaeHyun, we're going to try to get a pick off onto Trick. NaeHyun trying to make himself look tasty. The rest of G2's playing up topside, though, and you can see the vision is all theirs. Origen have had a hard time just getting outside of their base lately. Hiiva's going to get tagged up by the tongue. Wisdom looking to go in, but he gets cocooned in the back of the head instead. And now the curtain call is opened up once again. Trick sinking the fangs in. Not enough to finish the job, and the curtain call doesn't do it either, but Origen are low, and Zven blows away the bug.
And Hiiva died too, by the way. He was in the front line.
He did.
He was in the front line. He went down.
Thank you for picking me up after that one. Hiiva has not been able to survive a whole lot this game.
I've also realized now that we have this cross-group play here coming into week 4, we actually have very few upsets overall in the EU LCS because the top ranked teams in each group, Group A, Group B, so that's Group A is G2 Misfits and Group B Fnatic, Unicorns of Love and H2K. Whenever they play teams under them, they've made sure that it's pretty clean and it's often pretty one-sided as well. We haven't seen these big upsets, also because it's BO3 now, so there is a bigger chance that the best team actually ends up winning in the end, despite losing 1 or 2 games. Oh, lose 1 game, not 2 games. That'd be too much. How did Wisdom actually die in the end? Oh, okay, that one.
Just one big shot from Zven.
Maybe shouldn't have recalled there.
Yeah, I mean, the problem was there was plain vision, and it was pretty easy to just line up the Deadly Flourish. But Zven has had a great game, too. A little quieter than what PerkZ was bringing out, but the lethality has been doing a lot of work right now. And G2, they're a well-oiled machine right now, moving themselves forward to close this one out. 16-4 in kills. It's taken a little longer. Last game, much more thorough stomp from them. Nonetheless, they'll be happy to pick up the victory.
Yeah, they had the 10k goal lead at 20 minutes. Not exactly the same right now. PerkZ, nice damage.
Yeah, that's more than twice anyone else on his team, or in the game.
In the game, yeah.
He's doing work. I mean, he got off to a great start, but holy moly. There's a reason that Jayce gets banned a lot. Wisdom tries to hop forward to make a play, realizes it's not happening. He's got to back out once again. G2 once again trying to close this out. OG still offering resistance, but it is getting harder and harder for them to push back.
Oh, good for Satorius. He actually missed it. He probably died instantly.
No. I agree with you, but that is not a hopeful thing. Curtain calls just keep on flying. The last shot hits Tabzz, another deadly flourish, and he stays alive by the grace of the heal, but the base is going to be in shambles here. And Leduc is unfortunate. Can't be pretty happy today, but all the same, you can't really have expected too much more. Origen trying what they can, but G2 are just too strong. The Kings of Europe will not let something go easily.
No, and once again, as soon as we got out of the early game, where Origen were getting a few things, then G2 was just taking full control like this. But no other kills for Origen, no towers still. Haven't gotten another Drake either. So in that sense, obviously, slightly less one-sided than the first game, but like, who cares at this point? You're super far ahead, you're stomping them.
And this is the way G2 want to play it. I mean, they finished it out so early and so easily last time. We didn't really see the spike up that happens at 25, 30 minutes into the game because we didn't get to that point. But now they're just having a field day, and it's pretty easy to see that they're going to be able to take this one out no problem.
Satorius with the flank.
Let's see if he can get something done. Chains aren't going to land.
Missed everything.
Not going to do it.
He's walking away, guys.
They keep on trying, but unfortunately there just is too little. There just is too late. Satorius is surrounded by G2, and PerkZ with a legendary kill, and that about sums up this game.
Trick game 1, going crazy. PerkZ game 2, going crazy. Zven trying his best as well.
Wisdom gonna have to flash away. Tabzz is gonna follow him. There's nowhere to go but base.
Ulti.
Ulti's on the fountain. And down goes Wisdom. G2 looking to finish this one off. It is nothing but Nexus turrets coming up. And they've got super minions, Baron empowered minions pushing all across the way. But they're not gonna finish it just yet.
No. They're gonna delay it. Gonna delay it a bit. 20 kills again. Seems to be the theme for G2. We will get that one little push in with a million super minions, tons of Fed members. I don't think PerkZ will allow Trick to have gotten more kills in game 1 than PerkZ is getting in game 2. Knowing PerkZ as a person, that is actually what he's thinking right now. He needs to make sure he gets more than Trick. I think Trick had 10 kills.
So he needs to add a little bit up for himself.
I'm pretty sure PerkZ can get it.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of getting it, Sven's having an easy time on the Cloud Dragon, so they'll move a little bit quicker. Just to finish it off. They own the map, they own everything, but let's take a look once again at how they just continued to force their way into the base of Origen.
It's just a montage of Origen dying, basically, at the moment. Missed everything there. Satorius was trying to set up a flank.
You could see the exact moment where he just goes, nope, turns around. And
I'm sorry. I didn't actually mean it.
He gets noped himself. It's rough.
It is rough. But again, we've said it already. I think at this point, Origen can't really care too much about the game because they are so far down and they know they're playing against G2. I just want to see for them because next week it's Misfits. That's going to be tough. Or is it Misfits? It's Fnatic, sorry. That is a game
then
where,
they got Misfits.
you know, with Fnatic, we might see Origen be able to do something in the early to mid game. And then it's Misfits after that. It's going to be tough.
Oh, Wisdom getting blown up. Pretty easy to see.
Where's the PerkZ kills?
Oh, my goodness. Zven in the back just sniping away for the rest of them. One more shot is not going to connect. They don't need the kills just right now. PerkZ definitely wants him to see if he can get the dive on. Trick just goes golden on the steps of the fountain. Sven's still pecking away in the back, and they're just letting the minions do the job.
Oh, Perk, get in there.
Lined up, Zven gets exhausted. And that's going to be it. That's going to be game over.
Come on, Perk, you need
22 kills, and they're still looking for a couple more, but the Nexus falls. G2 making it look easy.
Definitely agree. One of the easiest predictions ever. Saying 2-0 G2 eSports in this match. As expected, when you have the champions versus Origen here, who's trying their best to kind of pick up something, but they're not even close, which is a problem for them. And I don't think there's any news stories there about them and their struggles.
Definitely continue. But against G2, there's not a lot most teams can hope for. And they could be pretty happy that they've continued their undefeated streak to go up next week against the Unicorns of Love. That is going to be such a hell of a matchup.
And now, basically, we just look towards next week. Like, this is our first week of cross-group play. I think we've actually had some really fun series to look at. We've seen the top teams in each group pick up wins. None of them have dropped the ball all of a sudden. It was really quite expected. I feel like if you kind of predicted the favorite to win every match coming into this week, you've got almost every prediction right. Yeah. And that is something in Europe is not always the case.
But with best of threes, we see sometimes teams can drop games a little bit. Sometimes they get a little hype. We saw in the previous series, of course.
Yeah, you dropped the one game, but
looking
then
like
you
it could happen,
next.
yeah. And I mean, that's part of an advantage of it. You can sometimes see, oh, that didn't work, even if they can't come back and close it out, which sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. But G2, I mean, there was no point that they were out of control of the game. 1 or 2 catches, maybe. Trick got caught early on when he was trying to do the Raptors.
But he was so greedy.
You gotta have one.
He was so greedy.
You gotta have
Raptors.
one. Yeah, a lot of learning to do still for this Origen squad, but there's still hope that they can pick up some wins against some of these other teams that are also struggling.
It just has to be against the other bottom teams. Like Rocket lost today. Look better though than what Origen showed right now.
That's true.
So that is obviously something to look for. But they have to face each other before we can really see who is actually the weakest or the best of the two teams.
Well, we know that one of the best, at the very least, is the reigning kings of Europe, G2 eSports.
I like how there's a theme with the coaches, blue suits, and then Weldon steps in with the black suit and ruins it all. Man, come on, they're all doing blue.
You talked about the coordination. I mean, the AD carry in the mid, they had different boots and everything. Yeah, they got to step up their fashion game.
Some issues there.
Oh, well. You can't be perfect 100% of the time to Fisio.
No,
I know it's hard for you to imagine.
Yeah,
Off the riff, that is.
I know. So awful. I think actually we have a replay we want to show.
Yeah, let's take back a look at
if you didn't
11
see
minutes
enough
into
kills,
this game.
if you didn't see enough kills or fights,
there was a lot of stuff that changed very quickly, and this was Origen thinking they were going to be able to get the pick off onto Expect.
But look at the Beast Devour from Mithy after the CC has already landed, so he doesn't get knocked up himself. And then PerkZ, this is actually where it started for PerkZ, I believe. Really getting super fit. He got a 1 kill before this, gets another one, goes ham. And this kind of showed the entire game, I feel like. Origen trying, forced a fight.
NaeHyun did get 2 kills out of it, but
died.
The problem is they just didn't have the damage to finish it in time, and then you could see the cleanup was pretty much all they needed.
I want to see the Satorius one.
There we go.
All right.
Keep it going.
Come on.
He's out.
Gets it. And he's like, yeah, I killed him. Emote spam right there.
And he stops.
No!
Ooh. Yeah, that one kind of hurt.
Decided the entire game, honestly. Decided the entire game.
Well, PerkZ really stepped up so much for that game because he got those kills early and he just kept rolling on them. And maybe he was just trying to compete with Trick for the kills overall. I mean,
Trick won though.
There's so many weapons on the side of this G2 eSports squad. You get some good ones. Every single time. If it's not one, it's the other. I mean, they had a lot of damage in that composition.
I just want to watch G2 versus Unicorns next week.
It can't come soon enough for you, can it?
That's what I'm looking at right now. 2 undefeated teams facing each other, different styles. We talked about it already. I really want to see if this new approach for G2 will pay off, because they used to play a little bit like the Unicorns do, like where they force a lot of players to play very fast pace in the early game.
Yeah.
That was at least the style they had in the spring split. Summer split, it changed a bit when Mithy and Zven joined, but it was still very focused on getting early advantages, which didn't happen on the international stage, and then things just fell apart.
Absolutely. But we got to dial in, though, on who we think performed the best overall. And for the player of the series, I guess somebody has to win out between PerkZ and Trick. It's going to be PerkZ.
Yeah,
he managed it.
I think you could have picked almost any player on G2 right here because they've just been.
I mean, Mithy was
Origen.
saving people's lives left and right. I mean, it depends on how you actually calculate it, right? Like,
PerkZ
life
gets it,
savers
though.
and kills. PerkZ managed it this time around.
Last game he was part of everything, absolutely everything. Like won his lane.
He did pretty solid in the first game too.
Yeah, of course he did. Like first game was great too. I think his Jayce performance was really good. Trick at the Kha'Zix. I mean, they were all great.
Easy peasy for them. So they close out once again, continuing to be undefeated. Now with our final game of the week on the books, it's time to load into the post game.